Taoiseach, children with disabilities in South Tipperary and indeed across the country are suffering greatly, especially children with special and complex needs. I have loads of examples of children who have been receiving therapies from a primary care team that are discharged from that primary care team as a team because they are deemed to have more complex needs and are more appropriate to the CDNT teams. But the CDNT teams don't have the appropriate therapists, and indeed the child is left with no place to go. And I want a situation where a child in this situation is waiting more than 3 months, that the state or the treatment purchase scheme or whatever would fund that child with those complex needs to go private and get private treatment, because they're deemed to have more complex needs. Primary care can't deal with them and send them on to the CDNT, but because of lack of staff and lack of therapists, they're languishing on waiting lists. The most vulnerable and precious children with complex needs, it needs to be dealt with.
Mr. Donnelly.
As you say, a lot of progress has been made in the primary care teams, and typically children who do have needs, be they mild or moderate needs or complex needs, are getting access to the primary care teams earlier. We have allocated funding this year through the waiting list action plan to bring in private providers. My own view is that we should be using every scintilla of healthcare provision available, be it publicly or privately available, to tackle the waiting list and to get the children the care they need as quickly as possible. In many of the specialties required in disability services, where, as you say, they are more complex services, there's actually very little private provision available. However, in some cases there are, and the HSE is very clear, both from primary care, from myself, and from the disability services, from Minister O'Gorman, that there is funding available to access private care when it is available.